I'm also one of Jared's groomsmen, and I've known Jared since I was 11 years old, when both of us attended our first of many years at Pine Forest. And Pine Forest, for us, for a lot of the people here, ultimately evolved into a special place where we made great friends and pretended like we were real athletes, and learned about music and all sorts of other great things. But at that point in our lives, at age 11, it was just a popularity contest, where you're hoping to make friends and not be the freak. And I was losing that battle my first year. And so my first year, I came late to camp. I was a 4-weeker, which was blasphemous to the camp and their size. So I was placed not in Jared's bunk or with other people who I could potentially be friends with, but with some other 4-weekers, and it was a disaster. I mean, it was like 2 Japanese kids who didn't speak a word of English, and then this set of triplets that just yelled at each other all day. So perhaps, understandably, I spent most of that summer terribly homesick and trying to escape, this social prison that I'd been sentenced to. So I was fortunate to meet Jared and some other great people who became my friends that first summer, enough so that I was excited to return the following year. But really, that's the extent of my memory that first summer. And so my first really prominent Jared memory actually occurred the following summer. And I remember really well, and this is what I always think of when I think of Jared. And I had arrived late to camp again, but this time with a little swagger. I was a savvy vet, I wasn't a rookie. So I was expecting to be placed in a bunk with Jared and some of the other friends I'd made the previous summer. But instead I was given the new kid bunk. And when you're a savvy veteran of camp, as I was, feeling pretty good about yourself at the age of 12, there is no hell worse, I promise you, there is no hell worse than the new kid bunk. And the way I would describe it, it's sort of like the bar scene from Star Wars. You walk in, there's 3-headed monsters, the guys with arrows through their head. Dave was actually in that bunk. I didn't know yet, so I'd come back and I went in to meet that bunk and I walked out all bummed out, and then I looked up and I came out literally pretty depressed, and I looked up and I saw Millie coming towards me, sort of jogging down the hill. And obviously, just as a side note, anytime I refer to Jared, I'm sure everybody here knows this, anytime I refer to Jared before the age of 18, I mean Jared and Brad, because they were sort of awkwardly inseparable at that point. Like really, it was. We're happy this wedding's happening. It was but in all seriousness, there comes Jared coming down the hill, and I'm in my darkest hour, and gives me a huge Millie hug. Couldn't be happier to see me. Couldn't be more welcoming, and my summer was great from then on. And the reason I'm boring you with this long story about my camp history is, to me, that perfectly personifies Jared and the type of friend he is. And once you're his friend and you're in his circle, you've got a friend for life. And it doesn't matter if you ate nasty stuff with him in college, like some of the people here, or you spent 4 homesick weeks with him at age 11. Once he's your friend, there is nobody more loyal, more considerate, and more supportive than Jared. And when you meet people like that at 11 or 12, you take that for granted. But the older you get, the more you realize how special that is and how important those types of people are in your life. And I was fortunate to have that with Jared. We were all fortunate to have that with a lot of people we met at that age. And it really hit home for me when we both moved to the city, to New York, after college. And obviously during our camp years we kept in touch pretty regularly, and then we went to different colleges. We kind of always knew what each other were up to, but we weren't keeping in touch. We're doing our own thing. And basically as soon as we both moved to New York, started hanging out together again, just like we always had, and we never skipped a beat. And I think that's amazing in life and rare, and I'm really grateful for it. But that said, like all great things in life, friendship with Jared isn't free. It requires some effort, and that's okay. It should. And I'm not a married man, so maybe I'm overstepping my bounds. But the way I think about it is, being good friends with Jared, it's a little bit like having a wife. He's always communicating. He spends entirely too much time on his hair, and he never thinks you're going to the movies often enough. And then there's the deciphering of the communications. One of Jared's idols once said, There's a lot of random in our songs. Writing, thinking, letting others think of bits, then bam, you've got the jigsaw puzzle. Well, those words were uttered by Sir Paul McCartney, but I can assure you Jared has taken them to heart with his own email crafting. I probably, as many of you probably do, I'd probably spend a good hour per week trying to decipher what he means in his emails and texts, and now, as if to send us to a new level of hell, his tweets.
Yes.
And just, I mean, if there's anyone here who doesn't know what I'm talking about, and I doubt there is, but just to give an example, just this week, and this, I didn't go back in my emails and find the weirdest Jared email, literally just a standard fare, it took me 1 second. Just this week I got an email from him about American Idol. That said Bower Socks, One Trick Fish Pony, I have no idea what that means. And then one about, and I have to read this, how a Jeopardy question on the Lindbergh baby kidnapping reminded him of a paper he wrote in college about Who Framed Roger Rabbit, representing westward expansion, obviously, and minority labor abuse, which then, in his mind, influenced the next Jeopardy question. And then he ended the email with the word Harkovy in capital letters. I have no freaking clue what that means. You went to your high school. False. But luckily, one person who does apparently go to the movies enough with Jared and understands his cryptic communications is Lindsay. And I have to say, I've known Lindsay now for probably 5 years. I can't imagine a better match for Jared. Obviously, on her own, she's amazing, fun, sweet, hilarious, an unbelievable cook. But watching her and Jared interact is the best. In particular, Linz has a great way of being able to either, hop in and play along with Millie's sense of humor / insanity, or totally tune it out at will. And whatever it is they have, it's awesome when your friends marry people who genuinely compliment them and who you actually enjoy spending time with on their own. So, Millie, I'm honored to stand up with you tomorrow. And Lindsay and Jared, I couldn't be happier or more excited for the two of you. I wish you all the happiness in the world. And may you remember that all you need is love, to love the one you're with, to let your love open the door, to keep your love light on, to not follow the sun, and may you never fear the sun to silence. Congrats.